So I'm going to be the chair, and then Kiki going to be the secretary, and Jim will be recorder.
Sure.
Okay, so let's start it on. Wait, actually, I see a new idea nest on role request. What is that exactly, sir?
Thank you. So I'm still developing this idea, and what it is, it's I want to have a card on HR where people can put a request for HR to follow up. So what I'm thinking is, for example, Bayou has asked for certain roles, and Vidi has also asked me for certain roles, and as I look at the huge stack of new applicants in LinkedIn, I can imagine maybe we need somebody also to help process some of these applicants. So what I'm looking for is essentially a new system such that it's like kind of like content request, but like an HR
We
request.
do have, right, sir?
We do have that. It's a
We
different.
do have HR request. I created that.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
We socialize that on our hand.
Ah, very
No, it's
cool.
our
Okay. All right. Oh, can you bring that here? Let's do that. Yeah. Let's. Where does that show up? It shows up on. If somebody creates an HR request, where would that task be managed?
I just attached actually on the card. You can click
Okay. And after they fill out that form, where does the request go?
Trello, sir. We do have the Trello for HR requests.
A special Trello board just for HR requests.
Yeah, wait, I'll show you.
Ah, okay. I must have forgotten about it. Yeah, you're right. Reinventing the wheel. Ah, okay. So we need
Hmm.
to
Wait.
be careful about that.
I used to use that with Vita also.
I see. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So Cynthia has put in a request recently, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What? Okay. And Deba Fett. Okay.
So,
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, the link is there, and then the board it's connected to this. So I've worked with Bayou actually to integrate the form and the Trello board. So it's already created. If you want to develop the ideas, that's gonna be good. But yes, you already have the platform, sir.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So I will. I don't need to have that then. I'll go ahead and take that down since we already have something like that. So then it's more of a matter of using it, I guess. Okay. So I'll go ahead and put that in the done stack. Thank you, Ara, for clarifying. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, then now let's go to our board, our stack. Let's start with Kiki actually. Kiki, please give us updates about your cards.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, for my first card, you are global to SUTD, Singapore University of Technology and Design. As you can see in my activity comment, they offer on-site internship, not remote working. So, I think we need additional discussion after this regarding whether we can afford on-site internship or not because
Okay.
the fee will be what is that the traveling fee is apa ditanggung Singapore government, so I think
Including the living cost?
yeah, it's apa
Including the living cost?
yeah, including the living cost. As you can see, I attached the screenshot of Mr. Pangzi email
Mhm.
in there.
Okay,
So
yes, we
yeah,
can have
I
discussion after this.
okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. And then for the webinar with Unpad students, so as you can see in my activity again, in my activity comment, it's done. Although the rundown of webinar is 20 minutes late due to some technical problems for from Unpad students. Yeah, Jigs know. And then the number of audiences is actually pretty well. I can say it's around 40 people. And Karina, the moderator, covered Jing during his struggle of entering the webinar's link. Yeah, it's the technical problems too. And for the engagement, I think unless the question and answer session, we don't know their reaction, we don't know their gesture. Uh, do they understand Jing's speech, etc. So yeah, it's pretty much the feedback. But what we can do better, it's an evaluation. So the speaker or Jing next time can create a textbook in Bahasa if Jing wants to speak in Bahasa for any next webinar rather than spontaneously speaking in Bahasa. And also for uh, the links problem that Unpad students provide has some problem actually, and they changed the link like probably 3 times. Yeah, we will tell this to evaluation to Unpad student. And then, yeah, I believe the success of this webinar depends on, I don't know, two aspects. First, Jing's presentation in yesterday's webinar, and the second, the internship publication and an after release from Unpad student organization. So after this, I will have a meeting with Unpad students, discuss our internship publication, and after release, so we can use backlink or hyperlink that refer to our website for SEO maintenance. Yeah, we cannot control the webinar now, but because it's in the past, but what we can control is what we can do after the webinar. So that's pretty much it. And then for my third car,
Oh,
NTU,
Kiki,
I,
can I stop for a second there?
yeah,
We have a list of the student feedback, and we have a list of student emails. I think we can probably do the
oh
same
yeah,
what we did with UGM, which is we approach the students that have filled out a survey with an invitation to apply for an internship.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know how to do that, Ara?
It's on your email, right? The format and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
to.
So the format of inviting. So do you have access to the Bitly backend where you can see all the email respondents?
Using what account? Is it recruitment or Bukit Vista?
Recruitment. So if you go into recruitment and you look for survey, there's a spreadsheet
Mhm.
that should open up, and in that spreadsheet be the list of emails. I'll go over with you after this meeting, yeah. So we can do that
Okay.
together. Okay. All right.
okay. Thank you, Jing, for your additional suggestion.
Mhm.
And then for my third car, the NTU one, I open to any suggestion. Because I see Ara's calendar, I see Ara's calendar that you have several interview schedules with NTU students for this week, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
I think what I can do now is I will assess the data of internship candidates from the candidate tracking card, and I will send it to Mr. Disman, see if there's something that we can improve or if Mr. Disman can push the publication more, etc. So yeah, I think that's from my third card, the NTU card. Next, my last part, networking with incubator. So as you can see in my activity comments, the MOU takes longer time to be signed by UNPAD, so it's a common bureaucracy. But our program are still running. Although the webinar is postponed, they cannot make it. They cannot make it this month, but they can make it in next month. So I'll stay updated, and then they will publish our internship program to Binaan. So Binaan basically is different with tenants. So uh, in incubator we have two kind of audiences. First Binaan, and the second is tenants. Binaan is people who interested in what is that digital startup, but they still have no idea what kind of business they want to run. It's called binaan, and then the tenants is the one who already has a business plan. So they will publish our internship program to binaan and Unpad Career Center. So yeah, that's pretty much from my part. Thank you. Back to you, Aya.
Okay. Thank you, Vicky. Let's go to Jing.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Chair. On my first pivot card, this is HRF.4. This is reusing templates on Trello cards. They're currently the only one that I've seen people use it is on marketing, but so far not a lot of action yet. So this one I think will take quite a while, but I do want to keep it here because I think it is necessary for creating a culture of innovation. What I'd like to do is I'd like to move the okay. It's already moved to July 20th, so we have quite a lot of time to see that. So okay, next card is seeking professional guidance and mentorship. We are a little bit blocked on this right now, and the feedback is that most of the people we've approached they have refused to actually do a video meeting. They're sort of lazy at the moment. I've noticed, so they won't meet, but they will share advice if we just ask them a few lines. I'm wondering if it's because the timing isn't particularly good, right? With these things like Black Lives Matter protests. So maybe they don't want to go on record for saying anything about internal hiring policies. I'm not sure about that. But I've realized that consistently the HR teams at Airbnb and at Uber have not, we've approached, we've asked, but they do not get back to us about whether or not to have a meeting. They will connect with us, but not about having a meeting. Update on that. Okay. Next one is ESS. I had a breakthrough this weekend, and I thought of a new idea for the ESS. So I will place that into HR discussion, and we can talk about a new idea around moving the ESS. Next one is HR F2.1 giving feedback. This one is progressing very well. Every chapter is doing this now on a regular basis, and I think it's very strong. So if I see this continue until June 22nd, I will consider this successful. So this is going very positive. Next is the masterclass. So the masterclass video, I've taken a look at Bayu's comments, and I've agreed to meet with him today at 5. I'm waiting for him to respond to my invitation, but he wants to just double check that all the key themes will be covered on the video class for bigger training. And that is it. That's the summary of my cards. Back to the chair.
Okay, thank you. Now let's go to my card. So for hiring good ITB interns, I honestly started to have doubts on ITB interns itself in the terms that, so I put up my activities in here that I have new hypotheses on these initiatives as we might oversell the internships program, or the other possibility is that ITB interns has a high dropout rate so far. Happened to Ferdi and Paris and actually Fipiatus. So Ferdi said that doesn't have times to do the internships. Meanwhile, I mean, that's already been cleared out actually on the interview, so that's a bit weird. And then for Faris, family issue, also friends and financial issues also that he needs to look up for a job that have income. And it's actually also pretty similar with Vivia, that also, other than the financial issues, it's also like culture fit. So the conclusion is that ITB applicants doesn't have a, I don't know whether a line of motivation to join us, or yeah, the fit itself to the company. So that's yes, sir.
Oh, Mrs. Chair, I would narrow that down a little bit to ITB SPM interns.
Right.
So rather than give the entire school, because we have Lilith so far, and she's working out pretty well. So anyway, yeah, a little bit more narrow scope.
Okay, maybe yeah, later some discussion about this, Mrs. Secretary, which also please write it down. We're going to talk further about this if they be SBM, if they be interns. And then for onboarding trial program, there's nothing much more. Everything is pretty nice so far. So this one is almost done since Icha is doing great, and then her last day on trials will be on Tuesday. And then for happy hour, I think it's pretty good. Previously with Aldo and Lilis, and then for this week, it will be Gani and Nadine that will host the happy hour. And then for quiz time, yesterday I already talked to Tendi about the sequences on how exactly it will be administered, and Tendi is having a meeting with HAR, and we'll have the follow-up meeting tomorrow. So yes, that's pretty much it from me. Now, actually, let's go to the discussion paper. Okay, maybe Mrs. Secretary, what exactly that we need to start discussion now, based on what you wrote?
Kiki, your mic is muted.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. So thank you, Mrs. Chair. So first, we need to discuss about on-site internship. Although we can do that, but that doesn't mean that we need to start to work on site for all BV teams. Is that what
For
I mean? And then to bring back people to office. I mean, it's not only on-site internship, but I suggest we need to discuss further than that. So on-site internship or on-site working, and then the second is we will discuss about ITB intern applicants.
Okay, so
So yeah.
maybe about the on-site uh on-site internship first. Maybe Jing's ideas, user.
Oh, sorry, I was spaced out for a second. I was answering something. Could you repeat the question?
Huh?
Okay, so Kiki was asking how is the possibility and it looks like for internships on-site.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, can do.
Yes, we can, but then my what is it? The problems that I can think of right now is that if people want to go for an on-site internships, then they're seeking and looking for experience on-site, right?
Mhm.
Meanwhile, now our team is not really working on-site, so
Oh,
maybe the experience they're looking for
don't worry. I
not
mean,
yet.
if we get an on-site person, I can think of a lot of things for them to do. I mean, they can go out to talk to the community. They can go out to make vlogs. If yeah, I'd be happy to get an on-site person here. Like, okay, back to Kiki. Kiki, if we get somebody on site, I can think of a lot of work that somebody on site can do just right off the beginning. Um, they can, if they want, they can stay in the frat house. If not, they can stay somewhere else and use the frat house as their base or the office as their base. We need people to do vlogging. We want to create more content around how it's safer to travel in Bali now. So that part is important. We need people that help also with Bayou on the finance and product development side. They can do that here on site or remotely. If they want to come to Bali to do that, that's fine with me. I mean, they can, they can work from wherever they want. Um, yeah, so it should be okay actually. Adding on site. On site means you have the option of going remote, right? Such as what you guys are doing. But remote does not have the option of doing on site. So I think if somebody is on site, yeah, they can still work from home or wherever they are, but it just adds a little bit more context now or adds a little bit more possibility to other things we can do.
Okay, Kiki, do you have any further question? You're
Actually,
muted.
since I have no idea what's the difference between on-site and offline in BV, online and offline in BV actually, but I believe we have settled many what is it work or remote working culture, and I do agree with Jing that uh, okay, they can come in Bali to Bali actually, but as long as their projects are done, or as long as they work, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Whether on site or offsite, or whether online or offline working, just make sure that their Trello card is updated, their everything is updated. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, is there any other question, Kiki, about that? You're muted.
Sorry. So, do we have to officially announce that we can work on site for, let's say, like all BP members or probably G interns?
Oh, you mean for in general? Yeah, yeah, sure. You mean for people who are currently employed?
Yup.
That's a good question, actually. You know what? I leave it up to each person to decide that. I think that now we have a new normal. Um, it's I okay. Then the talk that I gave yesterday at Unpad, what I realized is it's not a matter of whether you work at home or you work from the office. What I think working from home has actually made us do, it's allowed us to be more systematic and structured in the work. So before we wouldn't have regular follow up, right? About did this actually get done, what's happening. But now we do because of remote work. So I think that is the key, right? The key was to actually how do we create a system of accountability and a system of communication. And now that you have that accountability and communication, it doesn't really matter if you're here or you're not here because the system is pretty useful both ways. So it's actually I leave it up to each person. There are times where it's probably better to be in the same room because you can collaborate, you can feel more bonding. But I've realized along with that, there's also more distraction, and it can be harder to actually focus and get real work done. So I leave it up to each person to decide what they're comfortable with. I don't have I think the most important thing was to get this culture right that you can actually do remote work when needed and not feel out of touch. But if whether or not you should be, I think Kiki, you could go back to the office just so that you get a better connection, right? That would be that would be amazing, just to be able to
Oh my god.
have like a skip list video chat with you. But aside from that, I don't see any difference really at this point. In fact, I kind of
Okay.
worry that if you bring people back, less work will get done. I feel the opposite now than before. I feel like if people are going to be joking around and talking and having long cigarette breaks and doing whatever else, right? And missing meetings or being late to meetings. Whereas the system that we have now, it's actually pretty structured. So if you want to go to the base, that's fine. I don't discourage that, but if you want to work from home, I think that's fine too. And yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so I will tell the Mr. Pangzi from Singapore University of Technology and Design. I will tell them that you can go on site. Your students can go on site to Bali, but you still need to adapt to our remote working culture.
Yeah,
Can
that's fine.
you just
Is
not
that
use any
correct?
bot?
What?
Can you not use
What
any
are
bot? Hello?
any what?
Nggak usah
Hello?
pakai
Yeah.
bot bisa nggak? That's like making it less appealing actually. You can just say yes, okay, sure, you can have on site, why not? It will be
Oh
amazing.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, remote
Yeah.
work
Thank you. Thank
culture
you.
is just actually Kiki at this point. Remote work culture is just good work culture. I think it's not even remote work culture. It's just good work culture. Good work culture. We should have discussions, open communication. We should be able to solve our problems, whether it's online or offline. I think it doesn't really matter. But yeah, just tell them that they can come. Okay.
But
Okay.
also, my question, Kiki, when exactly the professor projected on-site internships? As in, I don't know, the
Well,
current situation is not, international flights is not open yet, right?
yeah, that's why I that's why I want to have I want to have a meeting. I will
That's
arrange a
their
meeting
problem.
with Mr. Pamzi.
All right,
I will ask about this.
yeah.
Yep, yep, sir.
All right, Kiki, that's their problem. If they want to have on-site internships, then they have to figure out how to get here. And if they're paying for the travel, they'll
Hmm.
figure it out. So we don't need to worry about that. We're just ready to take them if they do arrive. That's all we have to do.
It's more on not worry. Of course, it can happen anytime, but we need to know like when exactly we need to project this initiative to be done, right? If we
Ah,
don't know that and things like
good
that.
point.
As I saw that you commented on one of Kiki's card saying that this is not done for UR Global because we're not recruiting anyone yet from this particular university. So in that sense, we need the projections lah. Let's say when exactly it will be.
Nice. Good, very good, chair. Okay, yeah, you caught me. Good. I agree. Okay.
Okay. And then what are the next discussion, Kiki?
Yeah, the next discussion is ITB insurance applicants. You said that we need to detect what is that your motivation and discuss your hypothesis, etc. So yeah,
Okay.
what's wrong with ITB insurance applicants?
Maybe over to June first lah, because it's recorded, so I don't know the limitation. So.
Sure. Okay, Kiki, this is it, right? So we had a very unusually high failure case at ITB. So I'm not sure why. I would have guessed that there would be a good fit here because we have an ITB person who's a really good fit here with even a master's degree. So I'm not sure why this particular batch all failed. Like all of them failed. Like none of them got through. So we have to kind of look back at the beginning again and wonder did the expectation was wrong, because it seemed like in most cases the expectation wasn't quite there. They had expected something that was paid, and had something that was unpaid. And
Hmm.
the question I would have is, were we transparent enough to them so that they knew that this wasn't the right thing from the beginning? Or did they think that this was something different and then get themselves involved in something that they later regretted?
Wait, okay, may I know the three candidates that dropped out? Which major they came from actually?
Odara?
SBM ITB.
All of them SBM
Oh,
ITB.
yes.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Four. It was four. It was Faris, Ferdy, um,
Vivia.
Vivia. There's one more, right?
I
Oh no,
think
no,
three,
no.
sir.
Oh yeah, only three. Only three. Yeah, but there was
Only
a lot of
three.
applicants too as well. And so what I
Oh
don't
yeah.
understand is this: if there were people applying, if there were a lot of people applying, then it must have been desirable enough to apply. So then, if they applied and then they dropped out in the trials, it must have meant that there was definitely something different between what they expected and what they actually saw during the trials. So, what my question would be is, you just need to write it down more clearly, right? Like, what exactly did we say to them, so that we can go back
Hmm.
and analyze what that is? And you don't have to answer it with whatever now. Just show it on your card. And there's no fault here either, Kiki, because you're an intern. We don't expect whatever, right? If you have said something that
Yeah.
wasn't right, that's okay. That's fail fast. But we just need to see what it was, because for me and Ara, it was very confusing. Why? Um, I've never had that happen before, and I don't know. From my understanding, the only way that could have happened is that they might have heard something, or they might have understood something different from what we were offering, to have that kind of
Yeah.
drop off. Usually, interns don't drop out. I've never had interns drop out.
Mm.
Usually, we dismiss it. Interns dropping out is something really, huh? What?
Okay. Okay.
Because if they've already decided, like I don't buy Ferdy's reason. He doesn't have time for an internship. Why did you apply? Right?
Yeah,
Why did you apply if you didn't have time for
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it doesn't make any sense. But I'm just not sure what was the initial promise and what
Okay.
happened. So no need to explain. Just show us like what sort of was attached, and you're blameless, right?
Okay.
Tell the truth. Just show us as much, so that we can understand what I need to just understand their
Yeah.
program better, to know like,
Okay.
yeah, okay, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. May I speak, sir?
Yes,
Right?
please.
Okay. So basic. So basically, I believe that what they expect is what as the SBM ITB or the career center or the faculty post about our internship program as. So nothing's more. I just all their expectation is set in the what is that, the poster that SBM ITB posted
Ah,
about us, and
Okay.
it contains a lot. It contains, for example, our what is that? I always tell our LinkedIn profile. I always attach our website, and I also attach the
Mhm.
walls that we need. So basically, I don't think that's something that I can control. I mean, here's the material. Please
No,
publish this.
nobody's blaming you on this one, Kiki. We just need to see
Hmm.
what sort of. It could be there's
What's
two parts, right, in the communication. There could be signals
yeah,
that are misinterpreted, or there could be context that we maybe didn't know, right? Like maybe the context of
yeah.
we didn't know that they were a voluntary internship, right? So they can choose to intern or not. But the fact that they went
Hmm.
ahead in the program and then quit in the middle indicates to me that they saw something in the program that wasn't what they expected in the beginning. So what
Okay.
we need to find is what did they expect in the beginning? What were they hoping to get? I don't believe any of the people who applied for the internship actually did not intern. I believe that they probably got internship somewhere else, actually. But we just need to know what it was that they expected, right?
Hmm.
That's it. So just a little bit of research on that, so that we can uncover that a little bit better.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. So I
Uh.
might want to share my screen right now.
Hmm.
What a second. You can control the materials, Kiki, and you can control what they will post. And this is what I see on their Instagram, what they post. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So from this particular post, two things very crucial based on the experience that I got with with all of the dropouts is the very key one is the length of the internships. That's most likely from VPF feedback that stated the requirements of minimum 3 months, but it's not stated in here.
Mhm.
Also, another thing is that the unpaid part, I don't know. Even though I know that it's already stated on our website, but I think it's also crucial to state it on this post, I guess. I don't know. Maybe thoughts over to Jing.
Yes, I think so. Because every school, I think, will probably have different expectations. Maybe ATB interns expect to be paid. I'm not sure, right? Maybe we don't necessarily like this. This is what I mean by signaling in context, Kiki, right? So maybe somebody, if they see this, assume all internships should be paid. We don't know what they think. So in 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 these particular things, I think it is good to just maybe over communicate the negative aspects
Hmm.
of the internship, so that we could. There's a guest here. Oh wait, there's somebody coming in. Oh, okay, okay,
Well,
got it. Okay, I'm good. Hey, welcome. Hey, how are you? Okay,
uh,
Vlad is here. Okay, hi. Good, good. How are you? Welcome back. Yeah. Thank you. This is our pertama guest. Okay, so in terms of that, yeah, hard to know, but I think for the future we can probably put those terms on, so that
Mhm.
people might know. But yeah, hard to know what people assume from the beginning.
wait. I actually had a discussion before with Pak Raka from SBM
Mhm.
ITB.
Uh-huh.
Uh, wait. I slightly have asked him about the internship, and he said, wait. He said that whether it's paid or unpaid, it's actually apa common, gimana sih jelasinnya? Jadi uh, mahasiswa sana tuh biasa aja gitu loh, even for unpaid internship.
I know.
But I
Iya
feel
itu.
yeah, it's
Tapi kita nggak bisa, maksudnya we can't rely on what's common and not common. We need to be very
yeah.
clear about what are our values, what are our terms and conditions. So that's will create bias, like I think that's also bias from the professors that he said that common. Yes, it is common, but then perspective of the each student itself, whether they're okay or not okay with that, and their preferences. Each person have different preferences, right? So I think that needs to be stated, see, for me personally.
Okay.
Back again,
Okay.
because that is something we can control. Remember, we cannot
Yeah.
control what people will interpret, but we can control what we communicate in the messaging. So I would say, like again, I just don't know what happened either. But let's try to analyze it because I think Itebe is a good school. I think there could be, there could be good synergies with this campus in the future, either in SBM or other departments. But I do need to know why this happened, right? What is it that what was it that they were expecting? Why did they not proceed? And then we can understand a little bit more. It is I'll just say it's really highly unusual to see internship dropouts, especially during this time as well. So if people are dropping out, that must have meant that something that they expected was not what they expected. Um, and so we just need to understand a little bit more what exactly were they expecting. I think Vivia did show us a little bit more. I think Ara was
Yeah.
able to also get out of Faris that that part was weird. I mean, I'm like, my friend doesn't get it, so okay.
But I think it's also
Uh,
a financial issue. It's stated a little bit. It's stated that.
yeah. Uh, of so out of those three candidates from SBF ITB, the one that expect to be paid is Vivia, right? Is that correct?
I think
We can't really say that because
I think
I would.
Faris might have had that too, right? He was asking
Yeah,
for like, "Can I get a job afterwards?"
yeah.
Mm.
That's the question during interview. Can
Mhm.
I get a job? And that's
Mm.
exactly this question exactly the same with Vivia. So Vivia asked that on interview to like, is it possible to get the job after the internship? So both are having the same expectation about that particular thing.
It could be that if you have a degree from HAB, then you'd prefer to just intern at a place where you could probably work, right?
Mm.
It could be that. It could just be that expectation, Kiki. We just don't know yet. We're all just all guessing, right, at this point. So yeah, I think that part. Okay,
Oh yeah.
sure. I think we can conclude this discussion. We're pretty clear on it already. Let's move on. Yeah, Kiki. All we need you to do is just whatever you posted or whatever was there, just share back to us. Whatever conversations. You're not in trouble, so it's not nothing about accusing you. So just share openly. We just want to analyze why this happened, so that we can save ourselves some time. Otherwise, we interview people and we do whatever, and we still don't know why they don't want to come. Okay, back to our.
Also, maybe my one of my observation is that coba prioritize which university that has internship program mandatory and not mandatory
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's
yeah.
also some
Uh,
the ones. I would say coba prioritize
yeah.
the mandatory one. So during this time, the university that mandatory to have internships will rigorously to look up for internships program daripada yang nggak mandatory. Jadi kalau misalnya universitas dia
Yeah.
nggak, it's preferences, it's selection, then later aja second prioritize.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. SBM ITB is probably the only faculty that is non-mandatory from my list. Other than that, computer science, IT, engineering, it's all mandatory. So I try to approach them. Uh, it's been a long time ago, so yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
one last thought, and then we'll continue. Uh, it's actually pretty normal. Remember, we had this case with Irvina as well. So
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
we had, and it wasn't Chochok because the administration didn't line up. It wasn't because they didn't want to come in, right? But okay, shall we? I guess we should probably go to the next topic. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty much the topic that she wrote. Is there any other further this topic that we need to discuss?
I think that topic is chewed and dry. We need to move on. Yeah, it's just simply we need to get the feedback for why it didn't work, and yeah, I thought it was really unusual. I thought that was highly unusual that interns would start dropping out. That's yeah, that I never had that before. It's just really shocking. Okay, um, next one is back to the chair.
Okay, so is there any further topic on discussion management that we need to discuss? Okay, so maybe over to Jing about Unpad first.
Sure. We'll have the separate discussion with Ara afterwards about the approach letter to invite the respondents to apply. Okay, so that one
Uh,
will have just
sir,
continue.
sir,
Yes, Kiki.
I want to ask, so after this, the UNPAD students would like to publish our internship program.
Oh, they
Yeah,
will.
Mhm.
I said it to you before.
Okay. All right.
In
Okay.
so
Tell me more.
then do I need to what is that, to continue the internship publication
Yes, please.
with UNPAD students?
Yes, please. So
Oh yes, so yeah.
if they need to publish something, then I'll let you source the material and the content for that. But I think the takeaway is let's be clear about the length. Or actually, it's sometimes it's a duality. How long is the internship programs at Unpad?
It's non-mandatory if for the what is that uh MIB Unpad.
Okay, if it's not mandatory, then we probably need to put all the let's say bad news up first, right? So probably 3 month minimum, 3 month minimum, and no pay, right? And it's done remotely, so that there won't be any confusion about that. Kiki, I'll let you do the follow up on that part, and Ara and I will follow up on the respondents on the survey. So what we will do is we'll create an invitation letter so that they can write back to us. Okay, let's move to the next topic, Mrs. Secretary. I'd like to move to the top. Sorry, Mrs. Chair. I'd like to move to the topic of a good ESS
Okay.
first, and let's see. So I actually had a breakthrough the other day. I was thinking about all the things that we can do, and I thought about like the programs that we're currently creating, like Skillshare, like Lunch Hour, like okay, see you later, man. Take it easy. Yeah, have a good day. Have a good day. Yeah. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're talking about essentially how we actually do programs. I think the ESS can be actually a few things, but we can get feedback about our programs, right?
Mhm.
So
Okay.
what sort of like does this program help you feel more motivation? Does this program help you feel more engaged? Does this program help you feel more satisfaction? Then
Mhm.
you have very objective feedback, right? It's not like all wishy washy in the air. And then
Mhm.
the other side we can have ideas. So what would be your idea to make it better for this? What would make it better for engagement? What would make it better for your such and such? So that we don't actually have these open-ended questions that are really difficult to take action on, but we have more of like get feedback on each program. So like happy hour. Does happy hour make you feel more motivated to work here? 1 to 5. Do you feel more engaged with your colleagues from the happy hour program? Do you feel more satisfied being part of Book of Vista? Da 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 da. Right. Squad sync ups. Right. Does that program make you feel better? So I think you can break each part down into you can break each experience of Book of Vista into a component. Right. And then you can then ask if that component is actually helpful for helping people. And then when you get feedback on it, then it won't be so vague. You can then go to the component that is broken to then fix it. So I think part one is we think about all the components of employee experience, right? Like like squad sync up discussions, like collaboration between chapters, like all these parts. Are these parts helping you feel more engaged, more whatever? So then there is something to fix, and for everything else, I think we can still ask the other questions, but we just know that these are not things that we might necessarily are able to fix. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was kind
Okay.
of a breakthrough, and I'll keep on working on this. But I think this is a breakthrough because now we can think of
Okay.
each component.
So, okay. Basically, ESS will be evaluating project, right, sir? Like what we say, like our meeting, like that, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. This guy Vlad was really loud with his motorcycle. But essentially, like HR projects, like 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 let's say for example your onboarding trial program, right? Are the new employees at this company helping you to feel more motivated? Yes or no, right? Do you feel like they're sufficiently engaged, or do you have good engagement with them? And are you satisfied with stuff like that, right? So then we specifically have feedback about each program that we launch. So that will help HR fix like whatever programs that are currently in play to make it better. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's that. Okay. So that was my breakthrough, and then the last component, last part is there's good news, but it's also somewhat intimidating too as well. And this is on LinkedIn. So we have a large number of LinkedIn applicants all of a sudden, and it's a little bit good and it's a little bit scary at the same time. I think yeah, I was thinking Ara probably needs some help screening CVs. So there's quite a lot of applicants, I think.
But sir, again, my question for the LinkedIn, are we socialized that it's unpaid?
We need to. We definitely need to.
Yeah.
It's not.
We didn't.
Oh shit. Okay, we need to do that. Yeah, definitely need to do that. Definitely need to.
400 applicants?
Yeah, 500 applicants altogether. Crazy, right? And that's an internship position. That's not even a regular position. So you can see what the job market looks like now, right? It's completely different from before, right? Because nobody is hiring.
But again, sir, we need to make sure are they aware of it unpaid or not, because that's key.
I understand. So I think we need to do a few things. Maybe we can respond to everybody and tell them, okay, thank you for applying, but these are the terms and conditions. And if you still want to continue, then pop a card on my, then go through the regular job portal, right?
Website, yeah, tetap.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what the first step can be is, you want to first screen out people who do not have the right motivation, or let's say, they just don't have the right motivation yet. So that will probably screen you down to maybe like 10%. Maybe you get 40 people who respond. And out of that, then you have a more workable size from that. I think you can also do that to the next batch too. But I think I thought I broke a plate. I was like, but I think what I'll do is I will go on this job description and write that it's unpaid and it's for a minimum 3 months and that it's for remote opportunities. And this is where we need to collaborate with the second part, the HR requests, because there's a few roles that people are looking for that we can fulfill right now, but we just need feedback from the company to tell us where we need to hire, right? So that we don't end up hiring people who will be not useful, right, so to speak. So, okay, that's the update on this one. So I'll have some discussion with Ara about this afterwards, right? Because I don't think Kiki has access to the LinkedIn at this point. So this will have to be done between me and you for the moment. Okay, that's it.
Okay then. Okay, I think that we covered all the discussion for today. Let's change the chairperson. So chairperson for next meeting will be Kiki, and then secretary will be Ara. Okay. Okay, then I think we covered all the things. I motion to adjourn the meetings for now.
Okay, all right, a second. But Ara, I'll stay with you to get the two things fixed, yeah?
What, sir?
The follow-up. So the one, the UMPAD, and the second one. And over to Kiki, do you need any assistance with the marketing material for that internship announcement at UMPAD?
Marketing material, what, sir? Oh, for the after release content.
Yes, for the after release content. Do you need any?
I will probably ask Aldo for.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we'll leave you to it then, yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we do the P2P feedback, sir?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Let's hear Ara's feedback about how things went.
Okay, about the card, right? Or about the
Yeah,
performance?
yeah,
Or...
about each person's initiative, each person's pivot cards. Yeah.
Hmm. For Kiki, I think I've already told. Maybe the initiatives card that you need to complete is that before you send out the invitation, before even you contacting, you have to make sure what are the content that you are sending out regarding, let's say, for example, the onboarding, sorry, the internships terms and condition or the terms and condition of partnerships. That's going to be different, right? So that's the feedback from me. And then for Jing, I would say, apa ya? Wait, not sure, sir. For feedback for you, maybe not. I don't have any feedback so far.
Am I doing good or bad?
Oh my god.
I think doing okay.
I'm not doing great. What would make me great?
Apa ya? But I'm not sure like what exactly that needs to be like doing great. Okay, let me check again.
Oh yeah, Jing. Actually, Mr. Jing.
I'm listening. Yes, Kiki.
Hello. Yeah. I wanna ask for your sign for Undat webinars before. So they had this e-certificate for for the audiences,
You need my
and
signature.
they kind of asked for your sign.
Okay. How do I do
Hello.
that? Do you just need a
Uh,
screenshot or a picture?
just picture, just simple picture, just photo what's that?
Okay.
Capture your sign and send
Okay.
it to me.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Back to Ara.
Okay. Okay. Maybe for Jim, the feedback is ini, sir. This is small, tiny details, but for the I saw that parts with red sign, like could be the a notification or it could be the yeah. For example, that one is the deadline. So that to be updated whether it's you're going to postpone or you're going to
Good point. Good point.
extend overdue.
I will extend the deadline. I will extend this. I'll extend this. Extend for another week. And the reason why I'm extending is because I had wrong expectations about the return time from HR people. But okay, yeah. So thank you very much, Ara, and I will move that back another week. Okay, done.
Okay. Okay, so that's from me. Maybe now reverse, right? Update feedback from Jing first or Kiki first.
Okay, my feedback is that I think on the Scrum you're doing excellent. There's no issue there. It's very efficient, very straightforward, very methodical. But for discussion, I think sometimes we'll have to like budget a certain amount of time. I noticed that the discussion with Kiki about that
Yeah, too long.
got a little bit longer and longer and longer and longer. And what I felt there was happening was that I think Kiki was defending herself, right? And
Mm.
I think it's important if you're chairing to make sure that the climate is not about blaming, but it's more just about like understanding, hey, I just need to see your feedback. I just need to see what went out there so that we can evaluate what happened. And I think you just need to control that discussion a little bit better and end it because I
Mm.
felt like it was kind of like just really sort of yeah, it was sort of like I did this, and it could just be really simple. It could just be like, hey, look, I'm chair. I just need you to just copy and paste onto your card what you sent out. You're not being blamed, but I just need to see what was there, and boom, that's it. And then next time when we look at that card, we use data and we don't assume, right? Because then we can see what's actually the facts. So that's discussion management actually. So managing the speaking time. That's the biggest takeaway I have today. That's it. That's my feedback.
Okay, thank you. I think that's also feedback from Jing to Kiki also, that we're not blaming, we're giving you feedback. So there's actually, you don't need to like define yourself, because we're trying to look up for the solution together, not blaming you. So that's like perspective to Kiki. Okay, also feedback from Kiki for me.
I'm not sure. I think you're doing great. Thank you for your feedback, and thank you for Jing's suggestion too. I think it would help me to be better for next project. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, then yes, sir.
One last thing, I want to say thank you to Kiki for sharing the feedback about my Bahasa Indonesia. I think that's a pretty good. Ara never commented it, but I'm sure she thinks my Bahasa is probably not that great either. But but thank you for pointing that out. I think that could be the reason my Bahasa never got good is nobody pointed me out. I think everybody's just like, oh, that's good enough for a Bule. So
Yeah, I think so. So I was like, okay, that's acceptable. People can accept that too. So
but I honestly,
But it's not good for webinar. Oh my god.
that's what I'm saying, Kiki. Yeah, I agree. I think. Yeah, if I had French people are really really annoying about this point. If you speak French wrong, they will offer you lots of feedback. They can't stop giving you feedback about like if you spoke French incorrectly. They're just constantly. But Indonesian people are generally very polite, and I don't get that feedback. So then I just don't even know.
no, actually, also, I don't know if you guys wants to believe me or not, but at some point, listening apa ya, foreigner speaking bahasa not so fluently, it's at some point will be more interesting to people to listen rather than if you're so good in that. Yes, that's the fact. So I mean, for the context, for the content, maybe it's not good. PK was right, because it's a webinar, it's formal and everything. But in the terms of getting people attention to stay on the discussion and everything, that's actually good. That's one of the, I think, yeah, a method to gain.
Because it sounds funny. It sounds so authentic.
Yeah, authentic, funny. So yeah, people will listen.
All right, thank you. Yeah, people laugh. But at least they're engaged.
What?
At least they're engaged. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good feedback from all around. But thank you, Kiki, for that. That it's good to know. It's good to hear it from another perspective. All right.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much from for today. I'll have next discussion with Jing, and then I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.